Hi, I'm Nathan Oakley, and I wanted to do a quick video log. This is the third in hopefully a series of many. And the reason I'm doing this video log is I've been off ill for a good long while with a chest infection, and despite trying to fight through it and work and even interview my uncle, battling through it, I've been stuck at home most of the time, coughing my lungs up, and it's meant I've spent a lot of time on Facebook. And I don't normally subscribe to Facebook, frankly. I think it's a complete waste of time. But while I've been ill, I've been bored, so that's what I've done. And an old friend who I lived with many, many years ago, whose name I won't mention, Robbie O'Hare, he has sort of been arguing with me on Facebook in a very coherent way. He's asked all the questions that I immediately asked as soon as I came across this, and I think I said in my first video, they were all questions that I'd already asked myself. But he asked me over and over all of the different questions. He went through every single subject, loads and loads and loads of threads. He came back with all of the usual arguments that everyone gets from all the usual books and their usual education. He even had a few friends chirping at various different stages, which was amusing when they sort of pop up and go, "Hey, look, we've got phones, we've got GPS. Are you an idiot?" Which is great because you can immediately, or I did, I leant out my window and took a picture of a GPS tower and said, well, look, I can see this GPS tower. Coincidentally, my satellite dish is pointing directly at it. My friend got back and said, well, you know, this sat, whatever it's called over Europe, is why your dish is pointing that way. So I challenged him to take a photograph of it, and his friend named Christina. And neither of them could. They couldn't get me not only could they not get me a photo of that satellite, they couldn't get me a photograph of any satellite. And my friend's cognitive dissonance kicks in. He sees a cartoon of a satellite and sends it to me and goes, look, there's a satellite. And I said, well, that's a cartoon. Anyway, going through all of the points that he did, the first go-to one was the curve and saying, look, there's a curve. He even posted on my Facebook page a picture from the jump from space, the Red Bull jump. And that was his look, it's a globe, it's clearly round. So I thought I'd just cue up this bit of an interview that Eric Debay did. I think it was quite some time ago, but he immediately went through and sort of very casually points out the fact that wide-angle lenses get used commonly, and you can see the warping as they go up and down, below and above the horizon. You can see suddenly we have a concave Earth, and then we have a convex Earth, and so on and so forth. It's a bit of a nonsense, but the normal lens is a standard lens. There's no curve. It doesn't matter how high you go, it seems. There is never ever a curve. And you know, you've only got to go to Google and sort of raise the image up off the Earth, and you can see that as you raise off, it gets exponentially bigger the further you go, coincidentally at 8 inches per mile squared. Google can illustrate it with a graphic, but we can't replicate it in reality. This is the main problem. So I'm going to play this clip. Hopefully it's only a couple of minutes and then I'll stop and it'll keep it under 5 minutes. And yeah, I'm Nathan Oakley. I'll see you in the next one.
Little surprised that you never see a curvature. Even thousands of feet up, you don't see that curvature. It's a little odd. You'd expect to see it.
Yeah, though sometimes you do see curvature, and it's because it's using a wide-angle lens.
Right.
For instance, on the Red Bull dives that Felix Baumgartner did that everybody has seen, if you notice, the outside cameras are clearly wide-angle lens. And then there's an inside cockpit camera that isn't. And as you're watching it from the outside cameras, you'll notice that the supposed curvature of the ball Earth starts really early on, just as he's lifting off. And the exact same curvature stays exactly the same all the way up to the point where he's going to jump. So the curve is the same, but his altitude has risen by many, many miles. The reason the curve is the same, of course, is because it's a wide-angle lens effect. It's not actually the curve of the horizon. It just seems that way.
Right.
And that's proven by the inside camera, which, as the door opens, you can see the horizon out that inside camera. It has risen to the eye of the camera. As I said, on a ball Earth, you wouldn't open that camera and have the horizon right at eye level in front of you, no matter how big the ball was. That effect can only happen on a flat plane. And you can see in that dive shot that the inside camera, the horizon is completely flat.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes to the outside, and you got a huge curve. But when you're looking at some of the amateur balloon footage, some of it's lens corrected, and it's completely flat. And others, like the GoPro stuff, the horizon will fluctuate as the camera spins and tilts. The horizon will go convex and concave, but whenever it's still, it will level off at completely level. And you can see that the convex and concave images are just a lens effect. It's obviously not the horizon shifting every 2 seconds as the camera jumps.
Yeah.
And when it's still, you can see all the way up, totally flat.
Yeah, I have a